Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Force Chapter 265. When we last left our heroes, we learned a little bit about Dragon, how he was born in Iraq around the time of the Cataclysm, and he was just so powerful that no one could ever really measure up to him. Wherever he went, destruction followed, and that kind of led to Dragon's despair, a kind of classic no one can beat me problem. He's then kind of recruited by Fairy to join the White Clad in Tokyo to prep for the next Cataclysm. Then we cut to the present, where the battle between Dragon and Arthur recommences, with Dragon at one point slamming Arthur into the ocean. Arthur takes that as an opportunity to electrocute Dragon while they're both underwater, and then Dragon splits the sea, like he's fucking Moses or something. And that's where we left off. So let's jump right on into chapter 265. Dragon and Knight rejoice. And our picture here is of Arthur, who's sort of, lightning is sort of coming to the little, not really a ponytail on his head. Amass the lightning, O Night King. Lightning Rod. Chapter 265, Dragon and Knight rejoice. Okay, so we open where we left off. With Dragon having kind of, split the sea, and Dragon sort of like hits Arthur with his elbow. You're not as strong as me just yet, boy. Arthur kind of catches himself on the newly formed waterfall as Dragon comes for him. But Arthur like runs on the waterfall to get out of the way. Dragon comes for him, and I'm trying to make out what exactly. I think he's coming for Arthur, and we see Arthur get ready to guard. But Dragon hits him, and we see like blood comes from Arthur's nose and mouth as Dragon grins. And Arthur, I think, goes up. I think the two of them go up, towards the sky. I think. Yeah. They're just like clashing, countering, and blocking, just going at it in this like tower of their previous hits. And Arthur kind of, gets a slash in on Dragon, but we can see his face. He is beat up at this point. And he gets that hit, and Dragon goes falling back into the ocean. Arthur comes after him, with with Excalibur kind of sparking, and we see this explosion underwater. The two of them are blasted out, and they kind of land on the water's surface, and then go right back at it. Their faces now like pressed up against each other, as Dragon readies his fucking, dragon's breath, leading to a new explosion that Arthur seemingly deflects or just withstands. I can't quite make out the exact process here. Either way, a bunch of water has been kind of displaced by the blast, and is now raining back down on top of Arthur. And then I think that's another volcano rising out of the ocean, just fueled by the sheer power of Dragon's despair. And Arthur runs up the hill of the volcano towards Dragon and goes for another slash. And he draws blood again. Dragon is looking a little bit nervous about that, but he grabs Arthur. While Arthur is kind of still on the upward jump of that slash, he grabs Arthur and throws him back into the lip of the mountain. God, this is just like, I don't have a lot of like actual commentary on like the thematic, on like the plot or the characters or any themes going on here. This is just like nitty gritty chapter. Someone commented on my last video when the raws were out that I could review it before the translation. And I'm guessing this is why I held off on it as like a just in case sort of thing. I waited for Pusu Pusu to release their official version. But yeah, there's not a lot of need for translation here. Anyway, back to the action. Arthur is sort of, sliding across, beaten and bloodied, like dragging and being, or kind of the force of Dragon's hit is dragging him across the mountain. But he kind of rights himself and points Excalibur right towards Arthur, or towards Dragon, like he's gonna sword beam him, which he does for the most part, or either that or just like extends the blade. and it pierces Dragon in like the side. Like that's not a glancing blow. It's not a slash or anything. That's a stab, and it doesn't cut through Dragon. It instead propels Dragon into the sky, and Dragon is sent flying back into the cloud layer. He's now like in the clouds, and Arthur has somehow gotten back up there with him, ready for another blow, recharging Excalibur with just the electric energy of the lightning clouds, and brings in another slash of lightning at Dragon, and then kind of disappears to the other side of it. I think what might be going on here is this is somewhat of an answer to the teleportation magic scene from, I think, 262. Because I think what's happening here is Arthur, who's always kind of been, a plasma user, I think he's turning into pure platinum, or plasma. I think that's what's going on here. I think he's turning into lightning. Because we see Dragon kind of watch the lightning as it sort of, darts past him. I think the lightning is Arthur. I might be misreading this, but I think that's what's going on there. And so the lightning kind of comes for Dragon again and zooms past him. It gets him in like an instant twice, like an X across Dragon's body. Arthur just keeps hitting Dragon, either with Excalibur or with himself. Again, kind of up to interpretation. But Dragon kind of looks at the tip of the lightning, kind of viewing it, kind of observing it with his eyes, and readies his fist. And yeah, I think I am right. The lightning was Arthur, because we do see, so first off, Dragon just decks Arthur square in the head, but we see at the base of Arthur's legs the same kind of tornado effect that the teleportation magic had. So yeah, I do think that Arthur's teleportation magic is turning into lightning, which is super cool. Also super cool of Okubo for never outright saying what it was, just sort of letting us learn what his powers are through just watching it. A really, really nice faith in your audience there, Okubo. Anyway, so Arthur just been slugged by Dragon, and he sort of, I think he rolls with the punch. He's still beat up, but not as much as he could be. And then he comes for Dragon again. We see the look in Arthur's eyes. There's a sort of follow effect with them. It kind of reminds me of the zone from Kuroko, from Kuroko's basketball. But either way, Violet Flash, Eightfold Strike, and I don't actually know what's happened here, because we just see Arthur with his sword kind of, I think, having just passed Dragon. He might have just cut Dragon 8 times in the blink of an eye. But whatever the fuck happened, the problem with a comic is that you can't really see things in motion. So sometimes really, really specific fight moments like this can be kind of lost in translation almost. But whatever Arthur just did, the sheer force of it has sort of forced the clouds to separate in this giant ring, probably centering around Dragon and Arthur. Arthur is kind of sent flying though from whatever he just did. And we see there's a definitive cut across Dragon's lower torso, and again kind of flowing from his side, from his collarbone area, and we get the little blurb for next week: blood spills, to be continued in chapter 266, the free for all. So yeah, that was this chapter. That was an entire chapter of Fire Force. Oh no, hold on! I somehow skipped a page. I skipped an entire page. Hold on. Nothing really happens in this page. It's just, I skipped page 20 somehow. It's just Arthur kind of writing himself at the very edge of the new ring of clouds. And Dragon is sort of floating in the middle of it. And he just sort of stares. We see the beginning of the blood on Dragon's collar, which then takes us to the image of Dragon. I also kind of forgot to mention he's also got blood dripping from his mouth, which is always a sign of serious injury in Shonen. But yeah, Dragon is really starting to take damage. Not to say that Arthur isn't taking damage, but yeah, I mean, I said last week that that either Arthur will win and live, or Arthur will win and die in the process. Because I could see, even if Arthur lives through this fight, I do think this will probably be Arthur's last big solo fight, unless events kind of converge to give us an Arthur Haumea rematch. I think this is sort of Arthur's climax as a character, whether he lives or dies. I hope he lives because he's my boy. But I could see Arthur kind of dying in a heroic move, killing Dragon, taking Dragon with him, and kind of removing Dragon's despair from the equation. But either way, this chapter itself is phenomenal. It's a fantastic fight. Even if not all of it is entirely clear, there's that one bit with the eightfold slash that I'm not quite sure what Arthur did there. Eightfold strike, I mean. But honestly, the one thing I like, even beyond just the fighting, and I called attention to this earlier. I love that Okubo does not really feel the need to explain how Arthur's new lightning powers work. It's just how it works. We just get to see it work, and kind of work it out for ourselves. That he can now turn himself into plasma, into lightning. That's really cool faith in his audience Okubo has. But yeah, the fight is continuing. I mean, there's not a huge amount of progress there. They're just both getting more and more bloodied. I don't know. I don't know if next chapter will be, as silent as this one is, or if there will be more plot or more like tangible progression. There's not a whole lot of, like I said, there's not a lot of progression in the fight here. It's just a blast. It's a total blast. God, this fucking fight, man. This fucking fight is fantastic. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what happens next. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!